I think what actually a better example of this is when he does. Is it the 7 rings? Yeah, let's go to the end of Anthony Gatto here. He's going to do 7 rings. Now, tell me, put your finger up when the trick finishes. 7 rings over the head and there. Like, it's really clear. Like, you're like, hey, of course I said there, and you're all putting your finger up, and you know when the trick finishes. And all of the stuff where he was bouncing the ball before he put it over his head, like, this is the trick. Let me just make it clear. This is the trick that he's doing. And that bit between doing the trick and bouncing the ball on his head, and the ball was still bouncing on his head, and he had done the trick, that was just sort of like tension, and everyone's like, is he got it in control? Am I really in control? Yes, is he really in control? The ball's bouncing, and then when he finishes, it's sort of like control. He has gained control. He gained control of it on his head, and now he's got it in his hand, and it's fully in control. Let's switch over to Willie, and we'll see him finishing off the same trick. Okay, and Willie doing the same trick is... Oh, no, that's the 10-ring section. Okay, where's he doing? With the ball on his head. Okay, so this is Willie doing the same trick. So the ball is bouncing on his head. He turns this way. He doesn't do the pull down, but he does stop the juggling. And then you're like, okay. And then he does a pirouette, and then he claps the thing, and you're like, oh, okay, now he's going to do something else. But he doesn't. He just punts the ball backwards and was like, yeah, what's that? You understand, like, Willie doesn't understand when the trick finished. He finished the trick, and then he did more stuff. It's like with the ring juggling that he did. I mean, it's literally in this point where he thinks he's doing a breakdown, but then he puts another trick inside another trick. You can't do the 7 rings and catch with the ball bounce, and then do a pirouette with the ball bounce, and then get back into control. There's a point where the definition of a trick is that you have a steady state, you raise the energy state up, and then you bring the energy state back down again, and then you continue on at a different energy state. The energy state of a trick is like here, and then up, and then down, and then across. That's what you should be focusing on. Like, if it's a sequence is different in each individual one of these things. And what Willie doesn't understand is that there's a moment of energy. The energy raises up to where the trick is happening, or the new pattern is happening, and then it drops down into a different steady state. And you can't interrupt that. The graph can't go up, down like this. It can't go like that and then down to the end again. It has to go up, down, and then like that. For jugglers, if you're performing for jugglers, you can like put some extra bits in there. But for non-jugglers, they really need this shape. Steady state, elevated up to a trick, down again to a steady state. Now, Anthony Gatto he brings that down into that steady state by bouncing that ball on his head a little bit more after with the 7-ring pull down. He's like, wait for it, down again, like that. And Willie doesn't do that. He does the 7 rings, then he comes down a bit, and then he does a pirouette, and then it just wobbles around for a while, and then just dissolves into nothing as he punts the ball back, and his girlfriend catches it. Yeah. So that's really important.
I've been wanting to make a point. If you can go back real quickly to the Gatto video.
Yeah, what's up?
One thing I noticed, since we were talking about his assistant, is that, and one thing that you mentioned earlier is, the clarity of when the trick is done.
Yeah.
His assistant is she's choreographed with him at the end of, like, she does the kick. So watch the end of this. She kicks with him. And
oh yeah, that is super clear. Yeah, they do this all the time. That clarity is there. That's true.
Yeah, I love that. I just noticed that they do that for a number of big tricks.
Yeah, they do. At the end of the 7, when they do the 7 rings, and he goes it like that, and he goes like that. She's in just like 2 steps behind him, also doing that. It gives a real depth. It gives a real clarity to what's going on.